Hello dear learners, today we have reached up to the 8th lecture of chapter metals and non-metals, and today in this lecture we'll be discussing NCERT question answers of the chapter. As I have told in the previous lecture that topic extraction of metal, corrosion and the definition for alloy, all these things they have been deleted from the syllabus. But wherever we will be feeling the question is important, and it can be from either the first chapter or the second chapter, those question answers we will be discussing here in this chapter. So let us start with question number 1 of NCERT, page number 55. This is question number 1. So this question I have marked here only. Just see. Metallic oxides of zinc, magnesium and copper were heated with the following metals. Have a look. Zinc oxide. Will zinc be displacing zinc? No. Fine. Will magnesium be displacing zinc? Yes, because magnesium is more reactive than zinc. Will copper be displacing zinc? No. This answer is only on the basis of displacement reaction. If you are knowing the reactivity series, then this question is very easy to solve. Let us go with next part. Will zinc be able to displace magnesium from magnesium oxide? No. Will magnesium be displacing magnesium? No. Will copper be displacing magnesium from magnesium oxide? No, as copper is less reactive than magnesium. Reason will be same, that one element it is less reactive than the other one. Next, last part of this. Will zinc be displacing copper from copper oxide? Yes. Will magnesium be displacing copper from copper oxide? Yes, because magnesium is more reactive than zinc and copper. Then, will copper be displacing copper oxide? No. Fine. So, in all these cases, we have marked whether the reaction will be possible or not. Fine. Now, next question. Question number 2 and 3. Though they are not the part of syllabus from this chapter point of view, but they can be asked on the basis of first chapter. So I have written these answers. So you should go with these answers. Which metals do not corrode easily? The metals definitely which are unreactive, which are not going to react, they will be not showing any reaction. They will not be showing any corrosion. So which are they? This is gold, platinum, titanium, silver, etc. Fine. Question number 2, this we have done, question number 3, this we have done in 9th class also. What is alloy? Alloy is a homogeneous mixture of what? Of either 2 or more than 2 metals, or metal and a non-metal. I have given some important examples. Please go through them well. Brass is alloy of copper and zinc. Bronze is alloy of copper and tin. Sn is tin. Solder is an alloy of lead and tin. And one more thing, I'll be using word here, amalgam. Amalgam will be alloy when one of the constituent metal is mercury. Amalgam. So remember, when one of the constituent metal in the alloy is mercury, then we say this is amalgam. This is, just commit to your memory. Fine. Then we are going to start with the question answers of page number 56 and 57. Question number 5. Before question number 5, let us see some MCQs are there. So let us discuss those MCQs. Question number 1. Which of the following pairs will give displacement reaction? So option D we have marked. Why so? Because copper is going to displace silver. In the upper case, copper will not be able to displace sodium. Then next, aluminium is not able to displace magnesium. Then next, silver is not able to displace iron, because all these are less reactive than these salt solutions. Fine. But here, copper is going to displace silver from silver nitrate. Then next, which of the following methods is suitable for preventing an iron frying pan from rusting? Can we apply grease on the iron frying pan in which we want to cook? No. Painting can be done, but for the articles where we used to have cooking, there we are actually applying coating of zinc. Fine. Paint we used to avoid, and we used to have the galvanization process, that is coating of zinc. So option C is the correct one. Then next, an element reacts with oxygen to give a compound with high melting point. An element reacts with oxygen to give a compound with high melting point. This compound is soluble in water. So element is likely to be, just see bache, in this case the element will be calcium. Why so? A carbon, silicon, they are non-metals, and they are, as such, they are not going to react with oxygen to give a high compound which will be having high melting point. And in case of iron, the reaction will be totally different. So this calcium will be reacting with oxygen to give a compound which will be exhibiting high melting point. Fine. Then next, question number 4. Food cans are coated with tin, not with zinc. Reason? Zinc, we used to have the coating of tin but not zinc. Reason? Because zinc is costlier than tin? No. Zinc has higher melting point than tin? No. Zinc is actually more reactive than tin. So that is why coating of tin is being done, not with zinc. So that our food cans should store the food stuff in a healthy way. Now question number 5. Question number 5 is what? You have been given a hammer, a battery, a bulb and a switch. Fine. Now you have to do what? You have to make the distinction between the samples of metals and non-metals. So how you are going to testify? See, you are going to complete the apparatus. How you will be completing the circuit? You are going to complete the circuit by taking battery, bulb, switch and hammer. Hammer, why? Because it is acting like your metal. And if your you are just going to take complete your circuit. Fine. And when you are going to complete your circuit, and if the circuit glow, if the circuit in which you have inserted the bulb, if it is going to be on, then it is metal. If the circuit it is not showing any glowing power, or I should say if the circuit is not showing any of the light, then we will be saying it is a non-metal. Then next we are going to take hammer, and by taking hammer we will be beating the sample. Whatever the sample is given, one sample will be of metal, other will be of non-metal. And if the sample is going to be flattened either into sheets or into wires, then it will be malleable or ductile. And if it is malleable or ductile, then it will be metal. But if the sample breaks down, and if it is not going to be converted either into sheet or the wire, then it will be non-metal. So these answers are really simple to write. Then B part is what? Assess the usefulness of these tests in distinguishing metals and non-metals. So how you are going to test them? See, if from here what we'll be saying? We will be saying that metals, they are going to be malleable, and non-metals, they are going to be neither not malleable, and even they are not ductile. We will be saying here they are brittle. Fine. Reason? Because metals, they can be beaten into thin wires or sheets, whereas non-metals, they cannot. And the next, on the basis of the above activities only we have to give answer. So metals, they will be exhibiting the property of good conduction of electricity, whereas non-metals, they will not be the good conductors. Exceptions we have done in the first chapter. Definitely exception is there, that is graphite. Then question number 6 we have done already in lecture 2. Point number 2, amphoteric oxides. Okay. Then question number 7, very important question. Two metals which will displace hydrogen from dilute acids, and two metals which will not. So you are knowing very well the metals above hydrogen, they all will be displacing hydrogen from dilute acids. Simple thing, you are going to memorize it. The metals which will be above hydrogen in the reactivity series, they all will be displacing hydrogen from dilute acids. Whereas the metals which will be below hydrogen in the reactivity series, like copper, silver, they are not going to displace hydrogen from dilute acids. Fine. Question number 8 is on the basis of the topic, that is extraction of metals. So we will not be solving that question. So question number 9 onwards, we'll be having the answers in the next lecture. Thank you. God bless you.